Watch Dogs 2 has actually been one of my favourite games of 2016. It completely outshines the original Watch Dogs and blends fun gameplay with likeable characters and an engaging open world. Ubisoft games have never been one to disappoint when it comes to Easter eggs either, and Watch Dogs 2 is no different. This video today will attempt to compile all of the major Easter eggs in the game. While I have tried to cover every Easter egg, I won't be including any that involve any kind of story spoilers or that are just like unsubstantial or boring. So with that said, once the video's over and if there is anything major that you think I've missed, then please be sure to leave a comment below and let everyone know. First up, we're going to be taking a look at the Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon Easter egg. Now it's quite an easy one to find. You need to head to Gary's Games and Glory, which is super easy to find because it's your HQ and can be found around here on the map. The actual shop itself is filled with all kinds of references to Monopoly and board games and all that kind of thing, but what we want is downstairs out the back. Heading down here, we'll be able to find on the right hand side a couple of arcade cabinets, and one of them is very clearly named Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Ubisoft absolutely love to reference Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon in loads of games. I can't remember how many of these videos I've done, but it's good to see it popping up again. Down here there's also a couple of other little bits that might be Easter eggs. There's a VR headset very similar to the Oculus and the HTC, as well as like some mechs and that kind of thing, so if you think they might be extra little Easter eggs, then you can leave that in the comments below. Ubisoft are never shy to include themselves in the games they make. Their New York office appeared in The Division, and their San Francisco office is no different, appearing as a side mission in Watch Dogs 2. The mission itself asks you to find the trailer at the Ubisoft Offices, referencing a mysterious unknown game that the studio has been working on. The mission from this point on has you hacking into the Ubisoft office cameras to hack the hard drives inside. This gives us a great opportunity to look at loads of Easter eggs to other Ubisoft franchises. There are images all over the walls and booths, including The Division, something that looks quite like Lara Croft, and Assassin's Creed. So when you finish doing all the hacking with the hard drives, you get to see this trailer. Now, it's unknown at this point whether this trailer is actually a sneaky reference to an upcoming real-world release that might be revealed at E3, but a Western-themed space game sounds pretty fun. But at the end of the day, it could always be just an in-game trailer for something that will never really exist. We may be reading too far into this. The world of Watch Dogs 2 is absolutely filled with variations of real-world people and companies. One such example is Noodle, or Noodle, depending on how you want to pronounce it. This tech company runs a search engine, among other things, and their offices are a big kid's wet dream of slides and bright colours. It's very clear then that they are Watch Dogs' equivalent of Google. They even have a Google car. So early in the game, when you have a mission centred around the in-game millionaire Gene Carcani, it's very easy to pull on real-world comparisons and work out who they're talking about.
I assume you guys have heard of Gene Carcani?
He's the shit sack who's on TV laughing about how he's raising the price of leukemia medicine.
Yeah, the most hated man in America? Yeah, why do you ask?
Guy's a huge Bobo Dakes fan. Must have read Bobo's in town recording new tracks, because he's offering millions to keep the album to himself.
A millionaire who raised the price of an essential medicine, described as the most hated man in America, and bought a one-of-a-kind album just to hide it away for himself. It's none other than real-world supervillain Martin Shkreli. These guys even look similar. If you're not familiar with Shkreli, he jumped into mainstream attention in 2015 by increasing the price of Daraprim from $13 per pill to $750 per pill, promptly granting him the title of the most hated man in America. Furthermore, he then went on to buy the one-of-a-kind Wu-Tang Clan album Once Upon a Time in Shaolin for $2 million, which is exactly what this Watch Dogs 2 mission is based on. Hidden around the Watch Dogs 2 map are 7 unique vehicles. We're not going to take a look at them all right now, but one of these unique vehicles is a really interesting Easter egg. So if you want to find this for yourself, you'll need to head to this location on the map. When you arrive, you'll find a Jeep locked behind a gate, with the only way to open the gate being on the other side. If you have the improved jump upgrade on the jumper, you should be able to clear the fence nice and easily. Otherwise, do something similar to me and just use something to get yourself over. So this is the car you'll be able to find. To some of you this will probably be looking familiar already, but we'll take it out of here before we get a better look at it in just 1 second. It's also good to mention that you'll get an achievement for finding this car. Well, actually it's just any of the unique vehicles in general, so it's well worth doing. So now let's have a good look at this Jeep. You may have noticed that it is very similar to the design of the Jeeps from Jurassic Park, down to the colour scheme and the logo placement. Now if you're still not convinced, this Jeep has one last trick up its sleeve. In exchange for a regular horn, it has this. Now if that doesn't sound like a dinosaur roar, then I need to get my hearing tested. We've already taken a look at the Ubisoft Offices and the Easter eggs hidden within, but I completely missed perhaps the biggest Easter eggs of all focused around the offices. So to see this, we need to head back to the Ubisoft Offices, which can be found at this location on the map. You'll know you're in the right place when you see the banners, which kind of give it away. But what we're actually here to see are the large posters on the building advertising Assassin's Creed. Now, interestingly enough, these posters are exactly the same as the real-world movie posters for the upcoming Assassin's Creed movie. I guess Ubisoft couldn't pass up on a bit of free publicity. You can't really blame them, can you? Short Circuit was a movie released in 1986, and if you're not familiar, was about the adventures of a robot named Johnny 5. Since Watch Dogs 2 had such a hard-on for pop culture references, it's hardly surprising that there's a side activity dedicated to referencing this movie. Inside the Driver San Francisco app, which is actually a reference in itself, you'll be able to choose a mission called Johnny, Where Are You? With the mission's description reading, Help, my robot's missing.
We have to hurry, I lost my robot.
Man, you just made my day. Where do we start?
I've got a track on him, but it's behaving erratically. He may be trying to block me.
What? Alright, let's find him.
This mission seems to be loosely following the events of Short Circuit 2, where Johnny 5 leaves to explore New York City all on his own.
Johnny 5 has never been on his own before.
So tell me, is number 5 alive?
He self-learns, but sadly no. But his programming is goal-oriented, so it's possible he decided his goal was to go sightseeing.
On his own?
As a final tribute, the mission ends with Marcus singing the Los Locos song.
Los locos kick your ass. Los locos kick your face. Los locos kick your balls into outer space.
There's a revolution happening in Watch Dogs 2. It's not the hackers, it's not the citizens, it's not even the robots. It's far stranger than that. Okay, let's not pretend that you haven't seen the title already. It's Gnomes. Gnomes are hidden all around Watch Dogs 2. In fact, if you follow my guide that's about to follow, you'll find 10 groups of gnomes up to no good, and you'll even get a unique outfit as a reward. So let's start at Fisherman's Wharf. That can be found here on the map. Use your jumper to head underneath the seafood restaurant and you'll come across a lone gnome and a laptop. On the laptop screen will be a map. This map shows the location of 10 gnomes hidden around the city. So before we head off and just do that, make sure that you interact with the laptop so you can activate the hidden mission. The first gnome can be found inside the Tenderloin pawn shop, roughly here on the map. This one is really simple to find, just head inside and it will be sat on one of the shelves waiting for you to pick it up. The second gnome can be found just north of the Palace of Fine Arts, inside a restricted area found here on the map. Just head in with your jumper to the makeshift building to find a couple of gnomes in a rather compromising position, with the third just watching on. What a creep. The third gnome can be found on the roof of the health store found in this location. First up, you'll need to drive your jumper into the vents on the lowest level and activate the terminal hidden inside. Then you need to head up to the highest rooftop and enter the next set of vents that can be found there, and follow them until you find the third gnome, sat looking at another laptop. The fourth gnome can be found underneath the freeway entrance at this location on the map. You can either head in through the restricted area, or just jump the fence as I do, and you'll find a number of gnomes each enjoying a dirt bath. Maybe it's good for their skin or something? The fifth gnome is just across the road from the home data center, just here on the map. All you need to do is use the construction lift to make your way up to the roof, where you'll find more gnomes, and this time they'll be accompanied by a bear and some weird rabbit thing. The sixth gnome can be found in the rooftop garden of the Transbase Center. Just use your jumper to jump over the hedges in the middle of the garden, and you'll find an entire gnome army. I told you these guys were planning a revolution, although you do have to take their leader, so you may ruin their plans a little. The seventh gnome can be found on the rooftop in this location. On the rooftops you'll be able to find a hot tub with a number of gnomes inside enjoying the water. The eighth gnome is found inside the Garden of Peace and Love. Once in the garden, just head up any of the staircases to make your way to the roof. In the rooftop gardens, you'll be able to find a group of gnomes seemingly worshipping some bricks. I guess it makes sense, considering they're made of clay themselves. The ninth gnome is probably the creepiest of all of them. It can be found on the rooftop of a Mexican food restaurant in this location. Once you're on the rooftop, you'll find a gnome and a teddy bear staring into the corner of the wall. Perhaps this is a reference to the Blair Witch Project? The final gnome is found within the Oakland Aqueduct. The easiest place to start is just here on the map, so you can easily get in a boat and find your way to the entrance. As you make your way through, keep an eye out for the docks in the middle of the tunnel. Here you will be able to find the final gnome all alone up in the dark. So that's all of the gnomes, but there's one more step to this Easter egg. The map we found at the start of the guide has two crosses on it. One of these is where we started, and the other is where we'll be finishing. It's nice and easy to find, and it's here on the map. At the edge of this park, you can find a tent. There'll be a few more gnomes inside the tent, but if you've collected all the other ones correctly, you'll also be able to pick up the secret outfit. Now just head to your wardrobe and make Marcus join the gnome revolution. It's not exactly the most stylish outfit in the world, but after all the effort trying to get all the gnomes, it's better than nothing. So they were the major Easter eggs found in Watch Dogs 2. But there are still a few more that we need to cover, so I think it's about time for a lightning round. The Galilei Corporation is based on the real-world company SpaceX. Invite is Watch Dogs' version of the social media giant Facebook. As we've mentioned before, Noodle is the Watch Dogs 2 equivalent of Google. Mark Fruss is a potential reference to the future president of the United States, Donald Trump. Hook Motion Pictures is found in the exact same location as the LucasArts film studios in San Francisco. The New Dawn Society found in Watch Dogs 2 bears striking similarities to the real-world Scientology religious system. Cyberdriver is an obvious reference to the 1980s TV series Knight Rider. During a side mission when you give a swatter a taste of his own medicine, he'll be playing Rainbow Six Siege on his computer. The Scout X mobile app is similar in functionality to Instagram, allowing users to primarily post images rather than text. The Driver San Francisco app is the Watch Dogs 2 equivalent of Uber. It is also a reference to the game Driver San Francisco, which was also published by Ubisoft. And finally, during a side mission, you'll be tasked with rescuing Aiden Pierce, the main protagonist of the original Watch Dogs, and he still doesn't have any kind of personality. So there you have it guys, that was my rundown of all the Easter eggs in Watch Dogs 2. I hope I covered everything, but if there were any Easter eggs that have slipped through the net, then please be sure to leave a comment below and let everyone know. If you enjoyed this video, then please be sure to check out what else we have to offer on the channel. We have more Easter egg videos, let's play content, and live streams. Anyway guys, I'll end it here before I carry on rambling. If you did enjoy today's video, then please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, follow me on Twitter. I've been TheRoyalGorilla. Over and out.
His name is Luke and he's more than your average gamer. No ordinary let's player. Know about Easter eggs much better. Da 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 da. His name is Luke, aka the Royal Gorilla. Even bigger than the giant Godzilla. Follow him in every game he goes. Da da da.